This is ArtisanTony, and I am going to make a suggestion to Wranglerstar. He probably won't see this because he's a big-time YouTuber and I'm a small-time YouTuber, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. So basically, his cabin is 12 by 16. I'm going to go ahead and rotate this back around. And you're like, ArtisanTony, what are you doing? Well, I was looking at his video, the very first one, well, recently, not the very first one, where he is pulling out the old timber frame that's been stored for a while, and it was all cockabice, and he's thinking about redoing it now. But in the video, he mentioned that he was going to put a bag of sackcrete in each footing, which, as I know, is way too little. Is not enough. And so I was going to suggest a footing for him. Again, this is just really for fun because I don't think he's going to see it. He's too big to watch my videos. So I'm going to create a group out of this. This is just his basic frame here, and then what I'm going to do is go, I think he's using 8x8s for posts, 8 by 8, right, and then I'm just going to show them like 24 inches long. Okay, so there's a boat post. Now I'm going to make another suggestion later, but I'll just do it here. I'll make that a group, and it's about these posts. You know, sometimes when we design things, and I'm a design build contractor, so a lot of the projects that we build I design also. And one of the things I look at is not just function, but form. And the one thing I try not to do is do what I call chicken leg a project. And that is, even though something may be structurally sound enough to hold up, the project, that doesn't necessarily mean that it looks like it will hold up your project. So I would actually not fool around with those little chicken leg posts that he's got. I would do 24-inch sonotubes deep in the ground. As I would go at least 24 inches, maybe a little deeper up there, because up there their frost line is deeper than ours in Tennessee. Ours is only like 4 inches in Tennessee. So the top of our footing in Tennessee only has to be like 4 inches below grade, which is nice. But up there, I'm pretty sure it's deeper. It's probably more like 24 inches. So anyway, what I'm doing now, you may be wondering, what are you doing now, Tony? I'm drawing a footing that I think would work well. Oops. Sometimes things don't go as you plan them to. That should be 12 inches that way. So then I'm just going to take my pretty little rectangle tool and draw my rectangle, and then I would make the footing at least 10 inches deep. Now you say, Tony, where did you get these numbers? They have come from much experience over the years. I'm going to make that a group so it doesn't get affected by this other stuff. I started in 1978, and I've been in the construction industry ever since. Now, I did take a 7-year hiatus, excuse me, to get involved in architecture, and that's where a lot of my design influence comes from. I worked under a couple of great architects. Stroud Watson is one of those. And you wouldn't know any of these people, so there's no reason to bore you with their names. But I was, had a lot of influence there, and I'm trying to draw and talk at the same time, so this video is not 2 hours long. What I'm doing here is showing how really that 16-foot span is too long not to have a post in the middle of it. So when he was talking about having 4 posts, let me turn these axes off. View, axes, turn them off. And it's funny. Have you ever watched Con, the math and science guy? He's pretty cool. I love the way he repeats things sometimes. It gets a little annoying, but it's like when he's doing something, if he's not quite done with it, he'll just repeat it. Like, I need 3 more posts, and there's 3 and 3 more. So, not quite like that. He does it better than I do. But anyway, this is what I would suggest for your footings. And these are 24 inches square. They're 10 inches deep. And you say, well, ArtisanTony, what's with that? It seems like an overkill. Well, it might be, it might not be. These timbers are very heavy. You know, this timber across here could weigh, you know, a couple hundred pounds by itself. You know, so you're looking at, you know, then he's got those floor beams in there, and wall, you know, posts, and timbers, roof timbers, all the roofing material, and framing, and siding, and doors, and trim, and flooring, and it just goes on and on and on. You know, he'll be working on this for the rest of his life, I'm pretty sure. But like most projects, they're never done. They're just what we call substantially complete in construction. These points, only having 4 point loads would even require more of a footing, because you're placing all that weight in 4 locations instead of 6. So if you do 6, you can make them a little bit less, but you have more and it equals out. But the thing about that is, that's the whole point. You're distributing the load more evenly around the site, not just in 4 points, on 4 points. So, and then so if I go here to Window, Entity Info, and I select that one footing there is 3.33 cubic feet. That means an 80-pound bag of sackcrete will do a half a cubic foot. So you're looking at, you know, 3 or 4 bags per hole, not 1 bag per hole. Just to sort of exaggerate what that might look like if you did go that small. Let's double click on our group here. Let's go up 8 inches, and we'll say that now that little wimpy footing is only 2 inches thick. It is still, let's make it a little bit thicker. That's 1152 cubic inches. But let's get it back down to where it's showing feet. Let's go back. Let's go back and bring it down 2 more inches, and we'll see what that is. So that's 4 inches thick. So that's 1.3 cubic feet by itself. That would take 3 bags, well, 2.5 bags by itself, that little wimpy footing. So you see, those 80-pound bags don't go very far. And I think this is where I was about in the other video, the first part of it that got screwed up. So what I'll do now is cut this one off and let the other one continue. But let's see, I better go ahead and show the alternative, and I'll just do it here since I've got these kind of screwed up anyway. Let's just say that we have a pretty X across here, and I'm going to do a 24-inch sonotube. Where's my circle? There it is. So I'd go here and I'd go out 12 inches, and that makes sense because that's a 24-inch square. So I'm going to get rid of all that geometry I don't need, and then I'm going to make that a group, so it doesn't want to mess with anything else. And I'm going to double click on it, and I'm going to bring it up to there. And you might say, well, Tony, that's ugly. Well, actually, they can be quite nice. And that size is a bit of an overkill. I probably wouldn't do that size. Let's bring it to 24 more inches. If you were going to do sonotubes, you could probably do a 16-inch sonotube. But what that would allow you to do is to dig a hole in the ground and pour your footing and your post all at the same time. You would just have one concrete pour, and you would cut all the sonotubes off level. You'd stick them all in the ground and take a transit or a level or something and cut their cardboard tubes. You've probably seen them. Cut them off all level, and then pour them full of concrete, and that would be your structure and your footing, your post and your footing at the same time. The other thing I would do is there's a Simpson strong tie, a Simpson post base that goes under that, and let's see if we can find it on a 3D warehouse in Simpson. Is there one in here? There we go. That a baby. That's what I'm talking about. SketchUp. If you haven't used SketchUp now, it's not a little baby post base. This is a little baby one. We'll have to make it bigger. But I should have paid attention to what I was doing. In any event, it'll be big like that, and you can just slide it under there. What you do is you bolt it down to the concrete first, and then you would nail it. And I made it too big, but you get the point. You would nail it through here, and what that does, it allows water to run under your post. Even though your post is treated lumber, it's still going to rot eventually. There's nothing man-made that's perfect. The point is that this will allow your post to last longer. And then you just cover this up with some gravel and let water flow around it and through it and back into the earth and into your well and into your stream and into your ram pump and back up to your water tank that's going to feed your plants, and in the circle of life will continue, and it'll be perfect. There you go. That's how an artisan would do it. And we artisans honestly don't expect normal humans to build things the way we do. All we can do is advise and hope and pray that others will follow the best practices of the artisan. That's all we can do.